Hello, my loves. I believe I am live here now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell me where you are coming in from. I'm doing a short Facebook Live training here today. I am keeping consistent with the weekly trainings here for you, my loves. I really love to jam today about the three kinds of content marketing, whether they're lives or posts, that will call in your full body yes clients, that will stop people from going, you're so inspirational, to converting them into sales, into hot leads. Are you ready for this? Type hello if you're here. Please type replay if you're on the replay. I love knowing that you're here. I love hearing your questions and your feedback. As I am doing this live today, I will go back to all the questions that you post on this live so that you get your questions answered. Or you know what, I'm a manifesting generator, so when you guys have questions, I'm like, that is a great live training. So it inspires me too. I am so much about interaction. The more you give me, the more I'll give you. So it's beautiful here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Tiff. So good to see you both. Michelle's one of my Healy sisters in my lineage. So awesome. All right. So let's get right in here. So number one, and this is one that often, I actually don't see this very often, and it's a very, very powerful content post. Okay. So this one is about you be, do, and having what your ideal clients want. Because most of us as coaches, healers, light workers, right? Our ideal dream clients are former versions of ourselves. We are, that mirror image of them. They see themselves in us, whether that's conscious or not, right? So they want to hear, what are you currently experiencing and going through, and how does your mindset work? How do your beliefs work? What limiting beliefs do you need to work through? Because we're all human, so that you can stretch yourself into your next level version of you. So, for example, most recently, it was time to renew with my business coach, or just end and complete my contracts, like it's completed, right? So, what are my next steps? And so, for me, what I really um, I really sat with was, well, it was already a no-brainer, right? Like I knew my contracts was coming up in terms of a completion, and I had the opportunity to renew with my business coach. And so it's really been interesting because, like, as I'm in this momentum, it was like a no-brainer to renew that contract because of all the amazing learning that I've been taking in. But not just that, she really catalyzes me, just like I do for many of my clients, right, into action, into the stretches, into the next level version of me. And so I know for myself, having mentorship is so important. And then having a community that is like-minded, that supports me in like having this level of quote unquote success, right? Whether that's financial success, that's client attraction success, that's success for my clients. Like, I know it's a no brainer to then move into this new contracts with her. And so for me, she's elevated her pricing, and I forgot about that, to be honest. And I was like, I'm ready to pay 10K US. And I'm like, oh, right. She's like, actually, remember we had that conversation a while back about it being 12K, because I was opening up I was elevating my programs. I'm like, yeah, no problem, right? And so what's interesting is my old version of myself, maybe, I don't know, maybe even last year, right? I definitely was a different purchaser last year, which is interesting. Would have been like, oh, hemming and hawing, because last year I was still working with my other business coach, and I was coming to completion, and it made sense. My current business coach was having actually a really epic sales, and I love sales. So I was like, oh my goodness, but it overlaps. I don't want to be overwhelmed and all of this. And so I ended up jumping in anyway, and best decision at that point in time. But I really had like a lot of like back and forth with her, to be honest, right? And so I was like, this is really interesting. Um, and now that like we're in this momentum, it's like my contract's up, I'm moving forward. I was just like, yeah. She's like, I know it might be a stretch because it's like 2K US extra. I'm like, no, actually, I checks in with myself. I'm like, does this feel like a stretch? And I'm like, no, it just feels like because you guys might have seen my posts about being in overflow, financially, in client attraction, in sales, in happiness, doing this with ease, fun, and flow. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, seriously, I think Healy has a big piece of it, but also the structures, the strategies, the like higher level understanding, and just like where I am in my business, right? Like we have different stages, and I am in a place in my business where, so if you're just starting out, please know like this is a different stage. You don't start that way, okay? Like there is a lot more like building of your community. There's a lot more I'll say mindset work in that first year, especially like really shifting through limiting beliefs. And trust me, that never stops. But it has been incredible watch my own journey and see how I have continued to break through my own boxes that I create in here and create a new reality for myself, create new possibilities, step into them. And that's what I'm here to be, do, and have for you too, is to support you. That's what I do with my clients, right? It's like you don't know what you don't know about business, about that next level, about hiring people. Like when you're getting there, like, oh, everything, all these different aspects of business are really an understanding of to how to think first of all, and then what to implement, right? And so then it's taking aligned action, because how many people literally have all these ideas going in their head, but they literally just stay stuck because they don't take action, because they're the perfectionism. I'm a recovered perfectionist, so I know, right? Just freezes us, right? And so it's like, no, take messy action. And part of I really believe people choosing you, like that was your full body as clients, or because you are humanizing yourself, you were showing them this is how you think, this is how you have shifted your beliefs. These are, well, the beliefs you've had to work through to move into who you become. And so I've shared with you right now, and being that example of how I'm even a different purchaser, investor from even a year ago till now. And so and it's just so interesting watch my own process. And this time I was like, girl, actually no, it doesn't feel like a stretch. I'm in total overflow. And even I'll say, even for Peru, okay, so I was considering putting my business, like my social media management team, on pause. I'm like, do we really need to post? Do we really need to, like, is this even worth my money right now? And as I had a conversation with my business coach, she's like, well, remember, Roz, your business is its own entity. I'm like, yes, according to the Akashic Records, of course it is. And you want to keep it going, because when you come back, it is going to feel like you're in some ways starting a bit over again, because that consistency has stopped. So I was like, okay, yes, this is like, invest not from where you are right now, but from where you want to be. Boom. I'm like, thank you for the reminder. Thank you for a reminder. And so invest in where you, like, invest now as if you're already where you want to be. Okay, so that's really huge. And for me, the caveat is, when I am on discovery calls with clients or prospects, sorry, I always ask, like, if this is investing in this, let's say they're like full body yes, and then they're looking at their finances. And I always say, as you look at your finances, if you don't know what they are, yes, absolutely, get really close with your numbers. Notice if this is going to have you struggling to put food on the table. And if that's a yes, it's going to help, like, this investing and working with me is going to be struggling with putting food on the table, then right now is not the time. Okay. I'm not one of those coaches. I don't think that, as you're doing that and you're in survival mode, that's going to support you. So you need to be coming from a place of not desperation, not investing from a place of, oh my God, like these like fear. You need to feel good. You need to feel like, yes, this is uncomfortable. So it's not uncomfortable that it's gonna make you struggle and be in survival mode, but it's uncomfortable because you know this is your next level version of yourself. It's a stretch to invest this much, and it feels so aligned. That's beautiful because as soon as you say yes, you're not saying yes to me. You're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to your dreams, right? And as soon as you say yes, something energetically starts to happen that you start to feel on fire. I even noticed that when I signed the contract with my coach, energy started moving and I started getting more catalyzed into action. And so that's what happens when I see people investing in me. Something happens and they shift, and then all this movement. They even get clients before we even have our first session, right? Like it's pretty incredible what happens. So whether that's with me or not, but that is what happens. Those of you who are coaches and you see your clients, you see that happens. It's so potent and powerful. So the first piece of content, just to summarize that, is what beliefs are you working through, and then you move into to help you with expanding yourself into that next level version. All right? That's juicy content, whether that's a live or you write that in story form or whatever that might be. Number two, content that attracts your full body yes client. All right? Intention matters. We often hear, okay, like that intention matters more than the mechanics. I truly believe that you have to hold the intention. You have to hold the possibilities of meeting those intentions and being open in all the ways that can happen, right? Mechanics always work himself out. I keep seeing that over and over and over again. However, what I do see as a huge, I'll say, struggle with many coaches and healers is that they're like, well, this is my intention, but I'm just going to leave it up to the universe. Oh, it's not, it's like, it's not working out for me, or, oh, I'm just going to trust it. Okay. But let me just have you check in, because you guys all know I'm all about, universal guidance, tuning into our high self, but checking in when it comes to creating content that converts. Are you showing up as who you are with the intention in mind? Are you clear about your process, right, behind the scenes? Are you clear that as you're showing up and creating, like sharing a live or you're writing content, are you writing it to your actual client, ideal dream client? You know their struggles. You're definitely naming what they are. You're definitely naming what that transformation is that you support them in. So really think about that. And then are you boldly and unapologetically showing up in that and saying, I'm your person if. Okay, so I'm the coach for you. If you are struggling to be yourself and posting out your content out there in a way that where you don't give a fuck about what other people think, you're doing it because you know your ideal clients are needing to really, for me, it's like I know my ideal clients hide. They're playing small. They know there's another level in them, and they're want to say something, but they're scared to actually say it because they're fearful of what their high school Facebook friends are going to say. They're scared about what their family member is going to say. They're going to feel judged, right? Is that you? Or if you talk about money, right? You're maybe a money mindset coach and you're like, oh my gosh, like what are people going to think? They're going to think I'm greedy. I'm, whatever that is. Or even as a healer, right? We have a lot of shit around money. Most of us, doesn't matter what profession we're in, we have a lot of shit around money. I continue to do my money work, right? And so it's like, what is that? What is that thing that's holding you back from fully expressing yourself? Because remember, you are the voice of your business. Your business is a different entity. Are you being the PR for your business? Right? So this is really important. And so So much of our time, like, even though if you have a personal brand like myself, you have to remember you are not your business. Yes, your energy is infused into your business, but your business is a separate entity. You must speak up for it, right? You know your gifts, you know the transformation you provide your clients. Celebrate that. And that is really like you showing up and being yourself fully expressed. When you are fully expressed, your people feel your energy. Right now, as you're tuning in, I imagine that you're feeling my energy. I'm not just sitting back, reading a script line by line, having no personality, not showing myself, right? Like, this is who I am, you guys. If you meet me, you're like, oh my God, Roz, I hear this all the time. You're exactly the same in real life as I see you online. Yep, this is me. You get what you, right? Like, so that's the thing. Be who you are, because it takes way more fucking energy to hide yourself, to contract yourself. It's not a win for you, it's not a win for others, right? Be yourself. It is safe for you to be yourself. So that second content is say what you actually want to say, right? That's really, really huge. All right, drop me a fire emoji if you're like, yes, this is freaking speaking to me. I absolutely need to be more of myself. What is that thing? Here's an exercise. What is that thing that you really want to say? Right? And it's not, let me make it clear, it's not the verbal vomit diarrhea, airing your dirty laundry. There's a difference between that and being um, like in your power, in your being vulnerable, in your power, and you're still in your authority, your credibility, right? You're positioning yourself and you're speaking to your ideal clients. I see a lot of content, and this is not judgment, okay? I just imagine that this doesn't position you to attract clients. This positions you to perhaps have um, perhaps repel people, but not in a way where you're triggering people. It's more like, oh, that person has a lot of heavy energy. They clearly need to do some work on themselves. We all do, but it's projective, right? We don't want projective content. We want it to come from like, hey, here's what I'm going through right now. Here's what I've gone through, right? Or if you're really speaking from a place of like vulnerability, you're speaking from this place of like, ah, vulnerability could really be, and bold really does mean you are being yourself. You might say like, this is kind of scary for me to say. Maybe that's you sharing how much money you make in your business, right? That could be really vulnerable because, I mean, culturally, we don't talk about money, especially in the Asian cultures, right? You don't talk about how much money you make. It's so rude to ask, or like we just hide that fact because there's so much dirtiness around money. And so you can step into a new paradigm and say, listen, I am showing you what's possible, right? I'm showing you what's possible, and this is possible for you too. So it's about your mindset around things. Okay, so number 3. Whew. Hmm. So as I'm tuning into what, okay, so here's what's coming through, because I had it in my notes and I was like, no, this one doesn't resonate, come through right now. What really wants to come through is exactly what I'm modeling right now. That you are trusting in the moment, that what wants to come through in your heart is what needs to be shared. We are all conduits, right? We're all conduits of divine, and we're sharing the message that only we can deliver in the way that we do. So as I'm tuning in, it's like, what is it that's my dream client really needs to hear right now? And as I'm tuning in this moment, I want to say, I see you. And your energy is the algorithm. Okay, your energy is the algorithm. So in this moment, I know a lot of you are struggling with, but I'm not getting the likes, I'm not getting the engagement, I'm not getting the, okay. you know what? You never know who you are impacting. It takes consistent showing up. Even when I started my Healy business, my another stream of income, oh my God, it's just so much frequency. I love it. You know what? I was like, you have to be unattached. And this changed my life so much. This changed my life so much in that I was struggling with chronic back pain. And Healy has been, it's kind of like, when you're wearing glasses and you like clean your glasses and you put them back on, you're like, how the fuck was I walking around with such dirty glasses and didn't realize it? That's how I felt what Healy did for my bioenergetic field. I channel so much, I was actually like affecting my physical body. It was weakening it. And I am epic self-care queen. And all my rituals were not enough at this point. So I did need this device to support me. And it's changed my life. And if anyone can relate with me in regards to that pain or like whatever suffering and that Healy can help, I'm going to share it. I don't care if people buy or not. I'm going to share it because it's working for me. I know it's going to get out there. And what happens is I just shared it authentically and beautifully. I had no scripts. I just shared my story. And then what I ended up happening, but I showed up consistently with Healy. I show up consistently with Marketing Soul Ascension Business Academy, my group one-on-one hybrid program for life and spiritual coaches in messaging and marketing, attracting your full body yes clients, everything I'm teaching you guys here, right? And deeper dive, obviously, and monetizing your calling. Let's face it, if you're not making money, it's not a business, it's a hobby. And I want you to be monetizing on your gifts that for the energetic exchange, right? You're transforming people's lives. You can't put money value on that. You really can't. And you do need to, right? Because there's an energetic exchange. The more resource you are, so in this case, money is a resource, absolutely is, the more good you can do with it because you are taking care of yourself. You have that spaciousness. You're not burnt out. You're not, struggling. And then you're not putting yourself last and putting everyone else first. No, money allows you to have that spaciousness. Money allows you to do more good and give to the charities you desire. 10% of my profits goes to various charities I care about. Okay. And so that also allows me to really show up and serve in my most powerful way. So for you, absolutely, it's important, right? So speak on that third piece is speak on what's on your heart in this moment. What does your ideal client want to hear? And keep it consistent. Don't get freaking bogged down by the numbers. Your energy is the algorithm. So if you're putting amazing, passionate, authentic energy out there in who you really are, you're not trying to hide because that takes so much energy. Ugh, and it takes you out, right? You're being yourself. People feel that. They feel called in. And then the people that are not for you feel repelled. Good, right? It's okay. It's powerful. You don't want to be vanilla because then you don't call anyone in. Be you. And so, my loves, I want to leave you one more example. When you're sharing your story, share it authentically. So I was just on Corey Poirier's Expert Speakers Boot Camp this past weekend. And I was one of the speakers and coaches. People got to have 15-minute Akashic Laser sessions with me, and if they chose to work with me. And so one of the people I coached, she has a very powerful story. She coaches people like parents. And it's because she's turned her pain to her purpose. And when she shared her pain story with me, she's like, you're the second person I've ever shared this deeply with. And I said, oh my gosh, my love, this is the piece that's going to be the magnetic, juicy factor, because she still had some not good enough, some shame around that story. I'm like, but this is the piece that was related to her childhood abuse. This is the piece, and then who she's become is so incredible. Such a beautiful person, such a beautiful spirit, and just she defied all odds and turned it around to be who she is. We all love those stories, right? You are not victim to your circumstances. You are not what happened to you. we always have choice to turn things around and be who we want to be, no matter what. We all hear about those stories where people went from homeless to now, you know, rich and successful, whatever that looks like, right? But it's because of this. So I shared with her, your next edge then is really tapping deeper into your vulnerability and then showing up in that. So as you can see, all the content marketing pieces all really flow together, not separate, right? So and by the way, this client that I coached, she was so deeply grateful, and she's like, "Wow, that was her breakthrough. It was her takeaway. Be like, that is a thing that really are going to attract my people because she's being so vulnerable in her story." It's the too many times I see content marketing being too generalized. Like, are you feeling stressed and overwhelmed? And but then not actually labeling what are the tangible behaviors, right? What does that actually look like? What are they actually thinking? What are they actually feeling? And then what's that undesired behavior as a consequence of how they're thinking? When you get very specific about that, watch out. Client attraction. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful. So, in summary, first piece of content that's really juicy is, what are you sharing, what you are doing to work through your limiting beliefs, what are they, and then how do you work through it, how are you thinking it differently. Okay. Number two is, are you showing up being yourself, um, really like being fully in your energy. That's really important because it takes way less energy to be who you are, right? And sharing from a place of authenticity, your story, like your brand story, or like a moment that you just had that, speaking directly to your ideal client, would really appreciate hearing. And then the third piece is just, sometimes we're using our intuition, being like, okay, tuning in and being like, what is it that they really need to hear right now? And for me, that for you, that's the content piece is tuning into your energy, because your energy is the algorithm. Stay consistent. Consistency matters, because over time what happens is people start to, we need to have 21 touch points these days. If you keep talking about your program, if you keep talking to your ideal clients about their pain points and transformation you have been helping your clients with, and that you helped, or you were passionate about, they are going to come, because you keep touching them in this way. You keep hearing the same message and they keep feeling pulled in. I mean, as a um, prospect to someone else who my coaches, I'm like pulled in. I'm like, okay, I see that, and see that. And people often sign up last minute, sort of thing, right? So if you're launching, so just trust the process. Don't give up. Keep going, because you are making a difference. Do not freaking rely on the likes, no comments, like, yes, that sure on the 3D level helps, but trust me that people do come in. It really is about your energy and holding energetic space for possibilities to come in. When I'm in the Akashic records, I can actually feel for people. I have the gift, and numerologist confirmed it. I have the ability to see what's in store for your future, aligned with your soul path. And I can energetically, because my guides like show me this for future, I turn. And based on how far I turn, I can energetically feel how close people are to, like coming into your energy field, clients specifically, or opportunity specifically, or sometimes we explore love life specifically, right? So it's pretty amazing, but you have to trust, you have to keep showing up, because you're in that frequency, you're getting yourself aligned in that frequency of what it is that you really want to bring more into your life, but you got to continue showing up for it. So I hope that this is helpful, my loves. Let me know in the comments what your takeaways are. Let me know what your questions are. And I can't wait to see you post and put yourself out there more. Feel free, as you put your post out, put it in the comments, a link of that post. Let us celebrate you. Let me celebrate you. I really, really love when people just really take this information. Remember, knowledge is not power. What you do with what I taught you today, if you implement it, that is power. That's you taking aligned action. All right, my loves. And of course, if you feel called to dive in deeper to work with me, um, book in a discovery call. Absolutely. I would love to explore what would be most aligned to support you, whether that's Soul Ascension Business Academy or perhaps you want to join my Healy lineage or both. So let's have a chat. So DM me Healy or DM me Soul Ascension. All right, my loves. Take care.